Hello and welcome to Finishing Touch. My name is Riley James, another podcast via the State Soccer Network, and we have a fantastic show for you today. Today's show is sponsored by Steezy. From comfort to function, Steezy thought of it all with their brand new React No Show and Adapt Essential Crew. Steezy, the athletic sock for you. Keep moving forward. But before we welcome our guest, I want to take a second to congratulate LSU Soccer. Where is it? LSU Soccer state champions. Congratulations on a 7-0-0 regular season going in to the playoffs. Congratulations to LSU men's soccer. And now for the show, we have a man also from Louisiana who is making just a wonderful name for himself. And he is your goalkeeper for Louisiana Krewe, Sami, Borchalli. Yeah,
That's
let's
right.
go.
Thank you
so
for
much
having
for
me.
making time, man. Yeah, man, this is awesome.
Of course.
Thank you so much for making the time. The last time I saw you, you were lifting a trophy for Louisiana Krewe, and now we're doing this.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, so I want to talk about that just for a moment. Louisiana Krewe, some news dropped on day of recording. It is October 27th, 2021, and Louisiana Krewe is now a USL 2 team. How's that feel?
I'm excited. It's super awesome. You know, we've worked a lot. Coach Juan has done so much for the club and us as players and stuff, and putting in the work to make this kind of jump. And we're all really excited to see what we can do. You know, hopefully we continue that success into a national league. You know, we're all super excited.
Yeah, no, one thing that got me yesterday when I heard the news, I was just a very large sense of pride to have a team from my state and a sport that I love in a USL league. It's call it what you want, USL too, but it's USL, and it's a pathway, and it's an opportunity to grow and get bigger and move up. So congratulations to you, congratulations to everyone over there in Lafayette. But moving to soccer in Louisiana kind of opens up this door. I gave a big shout out to LSU men's soccer. Obviously, Louisiana Krew's moving up. Soccer seems to be exploding in this state. And now you've played soccer here for quite a while. Can you talk about the soccer culture in the state of Louisiana?
Yeah. So I think it's definitely grown and changed a lot since from when I first started playing when I was 4 for those rec programs up through club, up through high school, and just all the opportunities that are popping up for these players around the state right now is just really exciting. For me personally, I played for a really small club, so that was traveling to New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lake Charles, Shreveport for games, usually Alexandria sometimes. And then now I'm seeing clubs like as I was going through high school, you know, okay, we're going to go to Cincinnati for tournaments. We're going to go to Vegas for tournaments, North Carolina, and they're getting all these opportunities for recruitment. And then now you have clubs like Krewe popping up and being able to move into those major leagues or bigger leagues, I mean, and then bigger clubs from combining cities, things like that. And so the opportunities that are growing for these kids now it's really exciting to see.
So obviously you played this sport for a while, and I want to talk about your position for a second. Being a goalkeeper is insane. You were an insane human being. I don't know why you do what you do or why you try to like, I don't know, let me throw my body at this ball that's going, 80 miles per hour. Can you talk about being a goalkeeper and just, the kind of the competitive nature of being a goalkeeper? Because a defender, you have 4 of those. Like they're adaptable and you can kind of play a lot of different positions as a defender, but there's one goalkeeper on a team. Can you talk about maybe the competition growing up and how you got better?
Yeah, I think growing up, I've been a goalkeeper since I was 6 years old. So it's kind of the world that I grew up in, and that's the position that I always played. I always loved it. It's something I don't know what it is. It's something about scoring a goal is great, but denying somebody a goal, it's like it's a little bit more satisfying, I find. But the competition level and the mentality that it takes is just it's nothing nothing is like it. Especially like you said, having one goalkeeper in a team and transitioning into college and Krewe and competitive teams where there's 3-4 goalkeepers that you're competing with. I find it takes a lot of mental strength. It can get tough if you make a mistake and you're like, okay, am I out next game? Things like that. So So it's both bringing the physical aspect in and learning a lot on the mental side that I've had to do, especially during college these past 4 years. And getting thrown your face in front of the ball. I just recently, as of yesterday, 2 days ago, got my teeth completely fixed from getting kicked in the face. So that was a 6-week process that was super difficult, but we made it.
No, we never talk about the unsung heroes of dentists
Oh my gosh.
fixing the faces of goalkeepers and defenders. I mean, it's wild, man. It's awesome. That's fantastic. You mentioned college soccer. Now you've played, throughout your youth. Did you play high school soccer, or were you just strictly club?
I did. I played for Lafayette High.
Okay, so Lafayette High, these youth soccer programs, rec soccer, college soccer. Now you're playing for a USL2 team. Can you talk about the value of college soccer and what that has taught you? Because I mean, that's a good pathway for a lot of guys to get to,
Yeah.
Whether it be USL or MLS.
Yeah, college soccer, it provides you an opportunity to play at a much higher level than anything personally that I've played before at that time. And so you come into a culture where it's you're here to play soccer. Obviously, you're obviously there to get your education as well. But it's like you made the decision to come to this school to play soccer. We expect you to play at this level, train at this level, work at this level. So again, like I kind of talked about with goalkeeping, it's about building the mental strength and being prepared to practice 6-7 days a week, prepared to do 2 a days in practice, 3 days in preseason. So that work level and instilling that culture of training, that work ethic can really be a good springboard for moving into a league like the USL, MLS, things like that. The Division 3 level is obviously going to be different than Division 2, NAIA, and Division 1. But at the D3 level, I've played with guys that are played with and against guys that are moving up leagues, are going to be making money playing the game and doing that for a living. So it's a great opportunity if you have the chance to do it. And expect to work hard, because that's the kind of stuff you need to learn to make those jumps.
Now, obviously, our show is based on giving advice to players and such, but also kind of giving experiences. So you went from playing high school soccer to college soccer. Can you talk about the level of maybe the difference in physicality, or maybe just the mentality you had to take in from playing for Lafayette to going and playing at the university you attend now?
Yeah, of course, like I said before, it's the competition with your own team as well. In high school, if you're a college level player, you're most likely starting every single game. Coming to college, you have guys that have been in that same path, and you're competing with them now to get that playing time and stuff. So that's definitely something that was difficult to learn. But once you get it, you got it. But the physicality of the game is so much different. High school, you have a lot more space in the ball, a lot more time. Specifically with field players. But in college, it's got to be like this. It's got to be quick. You learn that really quickly. I think that's like the biggest thing that first year freshmen learn when they come in is like, I don't have time to take 2 or 3 touches to play a pass. I have to play quickly. So over the season, like we've seen guys do that this year, and then over years learn how to do it even better. So that's probably the biggest difference. Teams press a lot higher. They're much more organized. They're a lot quicker, a lot bigger, to where it becomes much more difficult to do a lot of the other things you would do in high school. You don't have the outlet of just play long ball and have your fast guy go get it, because their defenders are going to be fast. They're going to be strong. You can't play air balls because they're going to be big. So you have to be more creative to beat those type of teams. And that's probably the biggest difference in college.
Now, I want to lay out a scenario for you. All right. So it's 1-1 in a cup final. Let's just call it the Gulf Coast Premier League final. Let's just call it, sake of the argument, hypothetical situation. It's 1-1 going to penalty kicks, and you're in a position where you have to make a save. Now, for folks that don't know, this is a real life situation I saw Sami do. Made a great save, and essentially was a key piece in winning that title for Louisiana Krewe. To prepare for those moments, yes, you have to be fast. Yes, you have to have good reflexes. Yes, you have to be a fantastic goalkeeper. But we've talked about mentality a lot. And being a goalkeeper is mental. Not only the English definition of being insane, but like the American definition of like you have to have the mentality to go and do this. Can you talk about how you prepare mentally for those situations, or I mean, can you? Is there a process that you go through before games?
Um, I believe Tim Howard talked about before that it's about training and preparing, and he didn't even like games. He liked preparing in practice and just getting done with the game because he knew what he worked for happened, right? So like all that stuff that you instill, like the mentality, it has to come in training because you really can't learn on the spot in those situations. So like in training, just knowing that you've been doing everything right and playing how you should be playing in a game, that's pretty much the only way to prepare because like in a high pressure situation like that, it's do or die. Um, but there's certain ways of thinking about things. Like in a shootout for me, um, like going into that kind of situation in my head, I'm trying to call. I don't really feel too much pressure because at the end of the day, if I have a penalty, like yay, would probably win. If I don't, like bad luck. That's the only way you can look at it. I mean, obviously it's pressure, but if you go in thinking, "Oh my gosh, this all rests on me," you just can't succeed. I don't think.
Now, for you guys, and to kind of peek inside, kind of a professional operation you guys got in life yet, being a good penalty goalkeeper, obviously it's incredibly hard. The all of the positives and all of the different things are shifted towards the penalty taker. How much do you work on that at practice? And do you feel like obviously practice makes you better, but do you feel like you can take a lot of those practice things into a game, or is it kind of based on what you see during the game from those different players?
It's definitely a bit of both. When we train penalties and we do like the entire team taking them, I try to pick up on little things that I notice. Hey, if this guy lines up like this, he's more likely to go that way, and I can try to apply that to different guys. But unless I have statistics on players that I've played against or video that I've seen, it's obviously not going to be 100%. Um, but also in a game, if I know that this guy plays a certain way, I have a little bit more of a understanding of maybe where he'll go. Like we for the SCAC tournament last year for Centenary, we played two shootouts, and the first one I saved three of four. And one I remember he had scored a penalty against me when we played them earlier in the season, so I had an idea where he was going. And then another one, he was the free kick taker, and he always came at a really sharp angle and hit it hard towards the near post. And usually, when a guy comes at a sharp angle, they want to put it across their body to their right. But I thought that this player was not the kind of player to do that. I thought he had the skill to do the other thing. So, kind of like, I don't want to say reverse psychology, but just think about it that way. I went to my right, his left, and made the save there. So it's kind of like, yes, understanding tendencies that apply to all players, but also noticing when a certain guy is a certain type of player and being able to apply that to him specifically.
So mind games, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what you told me after you saved that penalty kick in the final was you had noticed he was going across his body for all the set pieces because he was their set piece taker, and you made that save, and inevitably, Judo puts away that final penalty kick, and you guys win 5-4. Like what a night, what a moment! But you picked up on that during the game,
Yeah.
and I thought, I mean, that's just being a goalkeeper. You guys are pretty much. If you're a good team, like Louisiana's a great team, you guys put a 10 piece on someone earlier in the season. Like you're a spectator a lot of the game, and you have to stay mentally sharp and ready to go. I talked to Ashlyn Harris about that one time, and is basically you have to be ready at all times for anything that could pop off to keep your focus and not drift during the game. Is that difficult for you when you're up big?
Sometimes I think it's not necessarily the focus. It's sometimes you just hands don't want to cooperate quite the same way if you're as they are, when you're making 10 saves or something like that. But at the same time, even though you're not touching the ball, you're still communicating, you're still observing everything. So for me, it's not difficult to stay mentally locked in. I also do just certain things to just keep, like, not put too much pressure on myself when I'm not touching the ball. Like, I'll joke with the bench, I'll joke with the crowd, like things like that, just to keep it light, but also stay focused on the game itself. But yeah, it can be difficult at times. But it's not. It's really. I wouldn't say it's anything too terrible.
Excuse my laugh there. I just imagine Sammy doing crowd work during the middle of the game. That's awesome. A couple more things here, and we'll let you go. Thank you so much for the time.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the influence of Coach Jawan in Lafayette?
Oh my goodness. He's by far the best coach I've ever worked with. He understands at such a ridiculously high level that I struggle to understand how he learns this kind of stuff. But his training methods, like the way he builds the team, especially, it's helped me grow as a player. And like experiencing Krewe with him as a leader is just such a great experience. His ability to bring guys together from all different walks of life, all different colleges that we played at, all different countries that we're from, different levels, different ages. Like it's unbelievable. And he's such a great leader for that. And then obviously as a coach, as a tactician, he's brilliant. So I can't thank him enough for the opportunity to play with Krewe. And I'm really excited to keep working with him for the future.
I had a nice little chat with him this morning. He's a fantastic leader for not only the team, but the community and the state. To be on this level of soccer so quickly after he arrived, it's quite incredible. Can you tell me about that speed limit 45 sign?
I inherited this room. So I live with a bunch of guys. I inherited the room. There's all sorts of stuff in this place that I have no clue about. So
yeah, no, I inherited it. Not that I stole it illegally. I inherited it. No, it's a nice cover. I appreciate that. No, we'll rock with that.
Sure.
Last thing here, and what we try to do is give advice, practical advice to young players that want to play on the level that you play at. And look, being a goalkeeper is insane. We talked about that already. Can you give advice to young players who are maybe not even goalkeepers, just young players who want to play this game at a high level? What can they do? And what advice could you offer them to make them a little bit better?
Keep playing for the best team you could possibly play for in your area. Always being able to play against guys that are going to push you will always lead to growth every single time. And with that also usually comes bigger opportunities for tournaments and exposure because, I mean, people don't realize how big the United States is until you're trying to think about a college soccer situation. And you look at Louisiana, there's only, I believe, 5 programs. So you're usually looking all across the Southeast for the best opportunity, especially if you want to play Division I. So, getting those opportunities is going to be super important for you. Film as much as you can. Those little moments, you never know who's going to see it. I got recruited by a school in Nebraska just from my film randomly popping up on their feed. And I had never spoken to them before at all. So like exposure is super important and just keep working hard because, and keep loving the game because the more you do that, first of all, the more you're going to appreciate your own work. And second of all, the more opportunities you're going to get. So just keep playing at a high level, get as much exposure as possible. And honestly, watch as much of the game as possible too. Because I've learned a lot of, especially for goalkeepers, techniques from seeing a goalkeeper doing it on TV, certain especially one-on-one techniques. Those help me a lot to propel me to like a different level than I previously was at. So those things I would definitely recommend to all younger players out there.
Sammy, thank you so much for the time, man. This was awesome.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, goalkeeper for Centenary, goalkeeper for your Louisiana Crew, a Lafayette High alum. We played you guys in soccer one time. We lost by 1,000,000 points. It was wonderful. Thank you so much for the time, man, and good luck next season. USL 2, let's go.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much for watching the show. We really do appreciate it here at the State Soccer Network. We also have some socials for you to check out. Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at State Soccer Network. And at the State Soccer Network, we also have a website, statesoccernetwork.com, as you can see right there. It's available in the show description with a direct link to find out how to sign up your local high school soccer team in contests and events to win prizes. We also have an iOS app available in the App Store. Thank you so much for watching the things that we make. It really does mean a lot. And remember, the State Soccer Network, a place where you can become the next great American talent.